probably just a smidgen over an hour. And this is going to be an active session. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of teaching at the end. But the most part of tonight is actually going to be you thinking about what you want from 2026 and scribbling some of that stuff down. Okay. You haven't got a goal until you've written it on paper and put it somewhere where you can see it every day. That's how you then get it etched into your subconscious so that then you start automatically doing things which are going to align you with what you want to achieve over the course of the year. So you're going to need a pen and you're going to need some paper. Now, I'm pretty sure that I know the vast majority of you guys, but I will always, as I always do, start with what I call my mercifully short introduction. I am Ryan Power, for anyone that doesn't know. I'm a beauty business mentor, author, marketing geek, and hummus enthusiast. And yes, I did have all of the hummus this Christmas, and I hope that some of you did also. Here's a picture of me with my business partner, Holly, who I'm sure you also recognize. In fact, she's in attendance tonight. And this was when we hosted the Salon and Spa Owners Club as part of Salonology. Back a couple of years ago. And in fact, we've been doing this now with Salonology. This is our 12th year of helping salon owners just like you to achieve their goals and their dreams and live a better life. And we have helped thousands of salon owners over that time. In fact, I've got a goal already for this coming year. I want to help 100 salon owners to make an extra £10,000 worth of profit in 2026 with working less hours, right? So even I have been setting my goals, and I know Holly's here because she's setting hers also. You might have also seen me on various stages. You might have heard our podcast. That's coming back in 2026. I've written a couple of books and all of those good things as well. And I know lots of you are a part of our active paid communities, including our epic Gold Club membership program. If you are a Gold Club member, then let us know in the chat. Maybe you are, maybe you're even a member of our top coaching tier, our Diamond Club Mastermind. If you are, let me know if you're with us in the chat. Kirsty says podcast, woohoo! The podcast is coming back. But this is the most important slide in the mercifully short introduction. And the purpose of this slide is to show you that we used to own a salon and day spa just like you did. We have been in your shoes. I promise you, we understand what you are going through. We understand the trials and tribulations that you face. And we know what it takes to grow a business like the one that you currently own to get it where you want to go. We owned a day spa that Holly built up from the ground for a decade, and by the end we'd grown it from a very small humble beginnings with literally no staff all the way up to 9 treatment rooms and multi-award winning. And the reason I'm telling you that is not to show off in any way, but it's to tell you that I promise you everything that we talk about, everything that we teach has been tried and tested, even in our own business or in the businesses of the literally hundreds of salons that we coach every single month. Skippy says, I always loved that lamp. I had absolutely nothing to do with that lamp, I can assure you. In fact, I had nothing to do with any of the decor at all. That was very much Holly's thang. All right, so that is the end of the mercifully short introduction. I hope during that you now have a pen and a paper. You're also going to want some quiet space if possible. Best enjoyed with headphones, guys, because Zoom doesn't let you play music anymore in the quiet bit. So it's just going to be like a deathly silence, all right, as you scribble notes down. So you might want to stick in some earphones. Here's what we're going to cover tonight. Part 1. Setting goals for 2026, which light you up. We're going to be talking both personal goals and professional goals. Then part 2 of tonight's training is making a plan to achieve them. It's all good and well having the goals, but actually I want you to start thinking about some of the action steps that you're going to have to take to actually get there. Because I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the whole woo-woo movement and manifestation, and all those things are great, right? But you can't just write down some goals and then just sit on your backside and meditate them into action, okay? you need to go ahead and make a plan and take some action to actually achieve them. And then part three are going to be my 9+1 rules for crushing 2026. Does that sound good to you? If it does, then drop me a yes in the chat so I know that you are awake. And then we are going to get the heck on with it. All right, I am loving how engaged you all are tonight, folks. This is absolutely awesome. I'm loving it. Okay. All right, let's get to it. So, part one of the session is going to be setting goals which will light you up. And of course, this is such a personal thing, but I want you to be up and at 'em and ready and raring to go for 2026. And the way that you're going to give yourself the best chance of leaping out of bed each day and seizing the opportunity that every day gives to you is by having some things that you want to go after, which light you up. I promise you, it's going to spill over into every area of your life and fill you up with real enthusiasm and that vitality for living life that we all want so much. It starts here and now. So grab yourself a pen, paper, turn off your notifications on your phone, send the other half out, lock the kids in the bedroom. Maybe don't do that. Mute the dog, okay? Because we're going to dive in. So, we're going to look at goals from all areas of your life today. So when you're scribbling the notes, and everyone's notes are going to be personal to them, but I want you to consider personal development, right? Vocational goals, your career, your business. I want you to consider financial goals. Maybe family goals are important to you. Maybe social goals are important to you. They could be physical goals, fitness goals, spiritual goals. It's whatever makes sense to you. And the reason I'm explaining it with you is because a lot of people they think of, oh, well, I want to make more money, right? And that's just, and that's often as far as it goes. But maybe if that is one of your goals, you want to think about why. What's actually that going to do for you? What's it going to do for your life? What is it you actually want to do with it? Okay. Let's try and go a little bit deeper and really think about those things that are actually truly going to light you up in 2026. Okay. So if you're ready, let's get to it. So to begin with, I want you to scribble down what 5 things have you already accomplished that you are proud of in your life. And again, they can be in any of the categories that we have spoken about, the 5 things that you are most proud of. Let's start by reflecting on some of the big wins that you've already had. And you've got 3 minutes to think about that and scribble some notes down. I'm going to shut the hell up, and your time has already begun. Okay, just over another minute on this. Okay. And that is time. Do you know what? A lot of people find that so difficult, thinking about their accomplishments, giving them self praise. But it's a really, really good place to start for this evening's training. We're going to move on. There will be some time to share, but we're going to move on for now. Next up, you've got just 1 minute for this. I want to know what the one thing you've accomplished in 2025 was that you are most proud of with respect to your business. So, just with regards to your business, and if it's an easy one, then just write a few notes about how that's made you feel and why you were so proud of it. You don't have to share those bits, but I just want you to reflect and let it ruminate that you can achieve great things. You've got a minute for this one. Okay, that's time. Now, if anyone wants to share, then feel free to do so in the chat. Cassidy says, took on a second unit and fully refurbished both. Cassidy, that's amazing. And thank you for joining us tonight. Nice to see you in the chat box. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate that. If anyone else has got one that they want to share, then do. If you don't want to, then you don't have to. Ruth says 30 years in business. 30 years, Ruth. That's incredible. India says created a great network. Yes, India, you certainly have got a great network. Thanks for joining us tonight. Kara says overcoming storms on business that could have broken me. I hear you, Kara. Absolutely. And, sometimes it's when it's the not so good stuff that we're going through that actually is the biggest accomplishment, right? Because as they say, it's those tough times that make us, right? Vicky says managed to step away fully on maternity leave and still have the business being successful without me in it. Yes, Vicky. Laura says invented a new treatment protocol. Wow. For lipodema. Wow, Laura, that's amazing. Holly says hit 11 years of coaching salon owners. Whoop whoop. Yes, Cassidy, I love the sound of that. Tatiana says winning awards. My hard work has paid off. Yeah, love that. 10 years in business for Julia. 33 for Sharon. Kirsty says getting my 100th five-star Google review, resulting in new people booking in and saying how good my reviews are. Yeah, absolutely, Kirsty. Love that. Everyone should be doing all they can to connect that. Nina says a much less stressful work-life balance. Fantastic. Sarah's a full refurb of her salon. Maria says letting go of being a salon after 30 years to go it alone and really focus on being my own freedom. Love that. Everyone, this is incredible. Amanda says having a group sound healing sessions. Love that. And Rachel says becoming an educator for a brand I really believe in. What a group of winners we have with us tonight. You absolute champions. So let's push on from there, okay? Now I want you to know what's the one thing that you accomplished, I should say 2025, that you are most proud of outside of your business, right? Outside of your business. So, what's something personal that you've accomplished? You've got 1 minute on this one. And again, your minute has already started. Okay, that's time. Skippy says opening a new makeup lounge and booty boudoir. Love that. Lorraine says better boundaries and work-life balance. Disengaging from business after 6 p.m. Wow, Lorraine, I think a lot of people would probably be quite envious of that. Well done, you. Steph says taking time to get my brain fit. Oh, look out! The webinar chat. I can't even keep up. And learning strategies not to get in my own way anymore. Cassidy says put time into bet and building better relationships around me to better my mental health and no more toxicity. How important is that? I love that. Sarah says taking my horse eventing. I never ever thought I'd be able to do that. That's brilliant. Becca says how I've handled my pregnancy so far. Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic, Becca. Not long now. Amanda travelled to Devon and Dorset on her own in a camper van and the best time ever. Well, it's a lovely part of the world down here, Amanda. Sarah says getting more holidays and more family time. I hear you. More days and nights with my partner, says Rachel. How important is that? What a brilliant goal. Maria says a holiday without my kids and just my hubby for the first time in 20 years. Julia took her first holiday abroad in 10 years. Kara's been building muscle strength and losing weight. Ali finally got menopause under control after realizing how much it affected her life. Helen had a baby. Congratulations, Helen. Tatiana says, having my little boy Leo with me every weekend after sharing with my ex. Ali adopted two sausage dogs. And Nina stuck to doing yoga regularly and went on the furthest traveled holiday. Cassie said, oh, yeah, I kept three kids alive for another year. 50 park runs for Carla. Wow. Ditching coffee for matcha and two family holidays. Carla, from one park run into another. You know how much I love that. Ruth refitted her downstairs, and Laura says, getting, in her words, getting up the duff naturally after unsuccessful IVF. Oh, Laura, congratulations to you as well. Wow, some fantastic ones, guys. So, now, the next one, and you don't need to share this, but I want you to think about what you want to achieve in the next 3 years. Now, this is a big one, okay? So I want you to take a bit of time and I want you to write it all down. This is brain dump, flush it out. And I want you to consider all of those different areas of your life. So you want to write down personal stuff, health stuff, financial stuff, work stuff, travel stuff, relationship stuff, whatever is important to you, get as much of it out of your head and down onto your paper as much as possible. You've got 5 minutes to get all of this down, okay? Your time has already started. That's half of the time gone. So again, try and think about all the different areas of your life. And you can either write them down as a list of goals, Or maybe it makes more sense to you to just describe what your day-to-day life might look like. What car do you want to drive? Who do you want to be in your life? Who do you want to remove from your life? Whatever makes sense for you, paint the picture. You've got 2 more minutes. Okay, out of time. Now, having done that, you should be starting to get pretty excited about your own life and about your future. And if you're not, then I would suggest you're not thinking big enough. You're not thinking wide enough because your life could look completely different in 3 years. 3 years is an outrageously long time. It's 156 weeks. Imagine if you just took a little bit of progress every week for 156 weeks. Your life could look completely different. So if you need to do that exercise again after we've finished, then do that. Cassidy says your goals aren't big enough if they don't scare you a little. And I totally agree with that sentiment. Right. We're going to continue because I want to be mindful of your time tonight. Now, what I want you to do now is I want you to consider which two out of all that huge list of goals that you just wrote down for the next 3 years, which two are the most important. And I want you to write these on a fresh piece of paper with space in between. So one of them across the top should be a personal goal, your number one personal goal for the next 3 years. And the other one should be your number one business goal or financial goal. Okay, you've got 1 minute. So write one across the top of the page, leave half a page blank, and then write the second one. So you've got the second half of the page blank, or write them on separate pages, but leave blank space. And this is the one that would make the biggest difference to your world if you were to accomplish it. One personal, one financial. They should leap out at you. Your minute has already started. Okay, guys, so you should all now have two goals written down. One should be a personal goal, one of them either a business or a financial goal. Okay. They should have leapt out of the page at you. Now, underneath each of those, in the space that you left, I want you to write out in as much detail as you can why they are important to you and how you will feel when you achieve them. We're trying to get some emotion baked into the goals. Okay. This is really, really important that you build in deep into your own brain why you want to achieve these things. If you wrote down, I want to earn £10,000 a month, why? Why do you want £10,000? I mean, it's just an arbitrary number. What do you want the money for? What are you going to spend it for? What would that do for you in your life? Okay. In as much detail as you can and put as much emotion into it as you can. You've got 3 minutes for each in total, okay, to write down for both of them. That time has just started. Okay, folks, we are out of time on that one. And again, I'm hopeful that you started to get some emotion into that. Okay, it's really, really important because it's going to be that that drives you on. And you want to remember why you want what you want when you're doing the actions that are going to take you there. It's going to get you through those harder days. If you've got a really strong why and a really strong purpose that's driving you, that's going to help you on those days where it's raining, right? Anyone can go training when it's sunny. It's not so easy when it's snowing, okay, metaphorically. Now, they are your new focus for 2026, those two goals. I want you to become obsessed with them. Okay, write them down everywhere. Remind yourself of them all of the time. And the good news is that now you've already spent more time working on your goals for 2026 than 99% of the population ever will. Most people don't even do this. You are so far ahead of the curve already, it's unreal. Okay, you're even further ahead of the curve than the extra 100 or so people who registered for this and haven't shown up. So well done, you. I applaud you. That bodes well for your future. Now we're going to move on to part two, and we're actually going to start putting in place a plan for you to achieve your big goals for 2026. Okay. Now, here's how this is going to look like. We are just going to work because for the purpose of the time that we have together on your business or your professional goal. Okay. So, what I would recommend that you do, and I will send the recording of this to you all, by the way, is I want you to go back and complete the same questions for your personal goal in your own time. Okay. Or write the goal out before you write your answers so you can go back and fill in the blanks. Okay. I would recommend that you do that either as soon as we finish or tomorrow while it's fresh in your mind. But for now, to save repeating everything, we're just going to work on your one business or professional goal. Okay? Everyone understand? I'll assume you do. Great. Okay. What you're going to do first is I want you to brainstorm two or three logical milestones which will move you toward the goal you want to achieve. Okay. Milestones help us break down our goals into more manageable chunks. And if you've set big, big, big goals that are a big, long way from where you are now, it's going to make sense to get some milestones so that you stay you stay on top and you stay motivated. So you've got 2 minutes to scribble down some logical milestones that are going to move you towards your goal so that you know you're on the right track. And your time to do that has already begun. Okay, but it's time up. We're going to keep going. We're on a roll. Now we're looking at the stuff that's actually going to make the rubber hit the road, as they say. Because I want you to do a big, fat brain dump right now and brainstorm every single way that you can think of that could move you closer to the overall achievement of your goal. Okay. So if your business goal was, for example, make an extra £10,000 in profit in 2026, I want you to write down every single thing that you think you could possibly do that might get you closer to it. That should be a very, very long list because there are lots and lots of things you could do. And by the way, I recommend you put some things in your list that you've not tried up until now. Because if you just keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get more of what you've always got. You've got 3 minutes to brainstorm everything you can think of. Go wild, think outside the box, and force yourself to keep thinking of new ideas because the good ones are going to come when you're 25 deep. Go. Okay, we're out of time, and I'm just gonna reference Lorraine's comment because it might help everyone. She says that's so difficult because mine was to get clients to book for longer treatments. Okay, so look, what I would say is twofold. Firstly, it should be a little bit difficult because all the obvious things you've probably already done, right? So they have to be new things. So the idea of a brain dump or a brainstorm of all the ideas, no matter how crazy, is that you might uncover some potentially new ones. But what I would also recommend that everyone does when thinking about your goal is to go back to the why. Now, if your overall number one goal for the year next year is to book clients for longer treatments, my question would be why? Why do they want to book longer treatments? Because that question is actually going to spring up a whole load of new solutions depending on how you answer it. And however you answer it, the question again is why? You've probably seen that before where you ask why five times before you get the real reason. Why? And it might be that at the bottom of that, the real reason you want clients to book longer treatments is because actually you want to make more profit. And if that's the case, then there's lots and lots of different ways that you can do that supersede that one list. Or it might be actually, I need more people, or maybe I just need more expensive services. Maybe that's a quicker way to the goal that I really want. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that goal, Lorraine. I'm just using it as an example because I hope that it will help everyone to think at a whole new level. Okay. Let's go again. So let's carry on. Now, I want you to write down a description of the person that you need to become to achieve your goal. Because here's the thing, guys, you're going to need to do different things. You're going to need to change as an individual to a degree to achieve the goal you want to achieve. Because otherwise, if you could do it, you'd have done it, right? And if the only reason you haven't done it is because you got distracted or you couldn't be bothered, then there's the reasons that you need to address. So you've got 2 minutes to scribble down your thoughts on this around the person you need to become, the person you want to step into for 2026 to achieve that goal. What does the person look like that would find your goal really easy? And what can you do to step into that mold? Your time has already started. Okay, your time is up. And Carla says, I need to get my expletive deleted together. And I can do that. And actually, whilst that's a great comment, said no doubt somewhat tongue in cheek, that's actually probably the case for quite a lot of people who are joining us. For a lot of us, if we actually just got our stuff together a little bit more, we could actually probably raise our bar quite a lot, right? Just from having better habits, from not being as distracted, from being able to focus on what really moves the needle a little bit more, not getting sidetracked on the jobs which actually we don't even need to do at all, that are really using up our time and energy and resources. So for many of us, it's going to be not quite as dramatic as we might think. Okay. Small hinges swing big doors. And if you could just get another 10% out of your focus, perhaps, that could have a huge, huge impact. And Carla, there is no apology required. It's fine. Cara says, I agree. My head is always very easily distracted, like by the Virgin Airways website. Yeah, no, I hear you, Cara. I hear you. Okay, next up. I now want you to write down, and there was a clue in that little bit there. Write down the habits that you need to either make or break to achieve your goal. Now, you are going to have 2 minutes to do this. And one of the ways that you might want to do this so that you don't, a lot of people slip up here because they overwhelm themselves, right? And they say, yeah, my habits for 2026, I'm going to run 6 miles a day and I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week and I'm going to go on this ridiculous diet and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do this. And they create such a long list that it's just never going to be achieved because no one has that much time in the day. A much, much more sensible way to do it is by taking one habit that you want to get rid of and switching it out for a habit that you want to develop and pairing them up, because then that way your capacity to take on the work remains the same. You're swapping one thing for one thing. So it might be, I want to watch less TV and also, or less social media, and I also want to read more books. Great. Social media out, book reading in. That takes no more time. It doesn't overwhelm us. But I can promise you, swatching that one thing for the other thing, if you did that for a year, your life would probably look completely different when you're coming along to this one next year. So you have 2 minutes to think about that. I don't want to put words into your mouth. I want you to do the ones that make sense for you. 2 minutes for this one. Starting now. Okay, some really good ones. So I'm going to share because there's a few common themes through these. So Cassidy says, I need to be more disciplined with carrying out the boring jobs. Carla just needs to get up at 6 a.m. to walk, and then that would change her life. And she's already working on it. That's a lot easier in the summer. I promise you of that. Habits, Cassidy says, Sunday, social media scheduling day, but also keeping time each day for those less favorable jobs. And Jackie similarly says, my admin day needs to remain that and not get distracted by other things. Skippy needs to start putting her first. Hear that, Skip. Ali says, tackle things head on and don't let things go home with me. That is a brilliant one. And Kara says a daily growth task time. And have you noticed the themes running through there, folks? Because there's a few themes there, right? And a lot of it boils down to just better time management, right? Better use of our time and sticking to those times. And again, what I would thoroughly recommend you do is if there's stuff that you know you've got to do, you need to block it out of your diary, commit to the time and stick to it like glue. Stick to it like it was an important doctor's meeting rather than just binning it off because you get a better offer. You need to build that discipline, and it starts with just sticking to those tasks. Okay. Okay, let's carry on. So, next up, and we're almost there for this section. And I love this question. Okay. You got 2 minutes to write down some ideas around what you are going to do differently in 2026 that is going to lead you to your goal. Okay. Small changes can get you where you want to go. Your trajectory will change. You've got 2 minutes to write down some thoughts. Go. We're not looking for a list of 10 things here, guys. It's just going to overwhelm you. What are just the key 2 to 3 things that you could do different that if you stuck to it, it would make the achievement of your goal a shoo-in? Got another 30 seconds on this. Okay. Couple I want to share here. Um, Laura says, bed rotting, scrolling, oversharing, overeating. Now, Laura, I don't know if they're all happening at the same time or not, but I definitely hear you. Skippy says, I just wrote down time. Yeah, absolutely. Vicky says, don't let my boyfriend distract me into an evening of binge watching TV and have a business evening instead when the kids are in bed. Yeah, I mean, that would definitely make a difference over the year if that happens regularly. Oh, they are all at the same time. Okay, thanks, Laura. Well, I guess that falls into the oversharing one, maybe. Jackie, love it. Javi says, write a list, stick to it each week that I should keep on top of, i.e., request client Google reviews, update Google, scheduling with marketing, be consistent. Consistency beats brilliance, I promise you, almost all of the time. Because again, people write these great long lists and they're just not able to keep to them. You can build on it as the year goes on. Kirsty says, get back in the habit of scheduling my social media posts. I've already done 2 weeks worth for Jan, so I just need to stick to it. Yeah, well done. Cassidy says, no more scheduling clients on my paper day. Saying no to the instant money. The income from the paperwork will equate to more long term. So true. And again, a real issue that we see in our industry is that saying no, having boundaries, and chasing the quick buck when actually, as you've said, spending the time on strategy is going to outstrip that one appointment payment over and over and over again. So, my question for you folks is, are you pumped about your goals? Are you now more pumped for 2026? I hope if so, my job is almost going to be done. We've got lots of yeses. I really appreciate that. But before we do that, the last thing I want to share with you is my 9+1 rules for crushing 2026 and every single year. And these are really like my choice nuggets that I just want to share with you. We're only going to be here for another 15 minutes. Okay. So stick with me because any one of these can change everything for you if you really take it and run with it. Okay. So some of these are really just designed to try and have those little tweaks, the little mindset shifts, which really, really help that have helped me over the years. Okay. And I think we're going to start with the most important one is that your life is your responsibility. Okay. And no one is coming to save you. If you want to have the best year ever in 2026, it is on you. Okay, it is absolutely 100% wholeheartedly on you. I mean, we'll help you if you want, and there's lots of other people that you can lean on to help you, but ultimately, it comes down to you. We do all get a fair roll of the dice, okay? We honestly do, especially over long term, okay? Circumstances are not reserved for the less fortunate. Everyone has to deal with this current government, okay? Everyone has to pay their taxes. Everyone gets rained on some of the time. It's up to you whether you choose to let those things hold you back or you choose to treat them as rocket fuel to prove that you can do it to you and everybody else. But it really is up to you. I believe in you, and I hope that you believe in you as well. Secondly, your thinking will determine your quality of life and not your circumstances. Okay. Circumstances happen to us all. Okay. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. But here's the thing, if anyone in the town that you are in is making a success of their life, it means that it's possible for you as well, especially if they work in the same industry. Because no one is more special than you. No one is better than you. No one is smarter than you. There's just people who take action, whether or not they hit a wall or not, and people who let everything get on top of them and then they give up. Your mindset is going to be the most important thing that you can work on in 2026. I promise you of that. Number three, I wholly recommend that you work out what truly makes you happy and you make time for it. If you really, really love knitting, then I thoroughly recommend you block out an hour in your diary every single week for knitting and you do not let anyone get in the way of that. There is just no point spending every single waking moment just working and never having time for your family, for your life. What is the point if you are never going to spend time doing the things that you truly love? Make sure you have those pockets of time. Block those out in your diary first, because we all know that the work is going to fill up a lot of the other remaining space. So make sure that you commit that time to doing those things that you love first and say no when people try and cross into that time. Number four is that you only need to bridge the gap. And what I mean by that is you're closer to the success that you want and the goals that you want than you probably realize. If, for example, you've written down that your number one goal for this year is to make, let's say, £3,000 a month take home, and you're currently doing 2,500, then you've only got to work out how to do an extra 500 because you've already done the first two and a half. So all you need to do is work out the difference of the extra that you are trying to achieve. And that should make it much, much easier to achieve in your mind's eye. Invest in you before you invest in the shoes. And yes, I know that that's not going to be popular with some people who are watching here tonight. But the truth of the matter is that the greatest investment you will ever make is in you. And one of the things I see, because it's what happens in society and it's what we are indoctrinated into as a society, is to buy all those silly things that many people cannot afford. Okay, you so often get this where people go and spend thousands and thousands of pounds on handbags, shoes, cars that they can't afford, all these other things to impress people that they don't even like. The greatest investment you will ever make is in you, Because I promise you, if you can up your skill set to the point where you are just undefeatable, that will pay for itself in spades and in spades and in spades. And it will pay for itself over and over and over and over and over again. It is the single greatest investment that you can make, and it's completely tax deductible. You can't do it all alone. There's a saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. Get around the people that you need to be around to get the inspiration, the guidance, and everything else that you might need to go where you want to go. If you can afford it, then I thoroughly recommend that you invest in someone who can help you get where you want to go. At the very least, I thoroughly recommend that you get around others who are doing what you want to do so you can learn from them. In today's era, there is no excuse for trying to do it on your own. Okay. Next up, nothing has to be the same again after today if you don't want it to be. Okay. Literally, this moment right now, everything can change for you if that's what you truly want. And all it takes is a decision to say no more. I am not going to put up with that crap anymore. This is a new me. I'm going to have some different outcomes in my life and I'm going to do whatever it takes. That is a decision. That is a decision that you make as an individual, and you can make that decision about any area of your life at any time. Stop putting off making the decision, or I promise you, you are going to be in more or less the same situation that you are now, 12 months from now, and 24 months from now, and 36 months from now, and 48 months from now. And if you want proof of that, look back the other way and see where you were 12 ago, 24 ago, 36 ago, 48 ago. Because what most people do in their lives is they plateau. They go up a little bit at the start when they first start something, years 1 through 3, and then it's a plateau, and they are more or less the same. But it doesn't have to be the same after tonight if you don't want it to be. If you make that commitment, that promise to yourself, that decision. Sometimes things have got to fall apart to fall into place. And you know what? This is one is here for anyone that is going through the rinser right now, because I know the law of averages says some of you will be. Some of you are going to be sat here tonight and 2025 has not been the year that you thought it would be. And I'm here to tell you that that is okay, because you can either use that as rocket fuel to take you further and further forward, or you can use it to sink you down even further. And my recommendation is that you use it as rocket fuel, because in my own life, and for so many other people that I've spoken to, sometimes the things that happen that you think are going to be the worst things ever, actually, they don't turn out to be that at all. They feel like it in the moment, but actually, they create space in your life for something even better. That member of staff that you thought you couldn't possibly live without, and they leave, and actually, an even more of a superstar fills their space. That time when you get evicted from your property, or you can't afford to keep the rent and you have to go away, and it feels like the worst thing in the world, and then you find something even better. It happened to me just recently moving house. I had an offer agreed on a property and it all fell apart, and I lost my money and they sold it to someone else, and I was devastated. And then I found another one that I preferred, that I never would have had I got the first one. So take solace, believe that those better things are going to be sent to you. Okay? Small incremental changes rather than giant leaps will get you where you want to go. It is those tiny day-to-day changes in your life over a period of sustained time that is going to change everything for you. You don't have to make these crazy, wild, massive changes that just completely turn your life upside down, because for the most part, that's not going to be sustainable. But I promise you that if you started walking a mile a day, every day, then in a year's time, everything will be different for you. If you started thinking, right, actually, I'm going to start making a reel every single day, and you did it for a year, your social media account would look very different a year from now. If you decided you were going to start reaching out to people and having sales conversations 5 a day, and you did it for a year, 1,500 sales conversations later, your business would look entirely different. The difference is most people don't stick in it for the long term. They do it for a few days, maybe a week or 2 weeks at the most. This is why if you pick small things that are easy to stick to, you're more likely to stay in it. Time is your biggest factor that is on your side. It will compound everything. And I promise you, it's going to take you where you want to go. And the kicker, number 9+1, is work more closely with me and Holly, and we will help you as best we can get where you want to go. I've got loads of people commenting. I'm glad you enjoyed some of those. You are very welcome. Now, sorry about the shoe comments for anyone that didn't enjoy that. Skip's feeling very emotional. Well, let's tap into a little bit of that, right? Look, guys.